KUAM News Headlines is presented by CALVO'S Insurance, a legacy of trust. Serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson Navigation, serving Guam and Micronesia for 20 years. Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Ahead on prime time, motorists are asked to slow down as two school children are hit by cars while on their way to school. A shocking picture on social media involving a toddler and drugs leads to arrests in Agate. And should a gubernatorial candidate be required to have a running mate in the primary? Details to a complaint filed in federal court this afternoon.
And with that, we say half a day, everybody, and good evening if you're watching us on KUAM TV or streaming us online. Thanks for tuning in. Well, it is certainly every parent's worst nightmare, because imagine sending your kid off to school for the day only to learn they've been rushed to the hospital. That
was the reality today after one elementary school student was hit by a car. This now marks back-to-back days of accidents involving our youth. KUAM's Carmen Terlahi has the story.
A startling moment during morning traffic as students made their way to school.
Couldn't move on the road, but he's okay. He can talk, he can move his eyes and everything, just he couldn't move his leg.
It's the second time this week a child is hit by a car, this time in the Laddie Heights area near Atticao Elementary School. Eyewitness Clint lives nearby. He says he was dropping his kids to school when he got home and came upon the chilling scene. The 7-year-old child was taken to Guam Regional Medical City. Joe Sanchez, Deputy Superintendent, says that DOE is concerned.
You know, obviously we take student safety very seriously in the Department of Education. And we're not just talking about when they're on campus. You know, we also really think about them when they're coming to school, when they're at the bus stop, when they leave us. We hope that the community kind of understands that, you know, around that time, we want to be especially cautious and making sure that they're observant of students who are around the area and they kind of slow down.
As we first reported on Wednesday, a Vicente Benavente middle school student was waiting for her bus when police say the 13-year-old girl darted across the road and was hit by a car. Her injuries, authorities say, are non-life-threatening, though many in the community, like Clint, stress that government officials must do better to keep the kids safe.
But you know, to the government, you know, to the mayors and the employees, we do not see no signs here that say slow down or a miles per hour. As the mayor's job, you know, it should put signs up, put a barricade where the bus stop is at, because there's no barricade for the kids to be protected.
DOE is asking drivers to take caution in areas near bus stops, especially in the morning and afternoon hours when buses pick up and drop off. They also encourage teachers to teach road safety.
One of the things that we're going to ask our teachers to do over the next couple of days is talk to the students about road safety. You know, we know that the schools kind of do that at the beginning of the year, but we want to kind of emphasize that especially.
Meantime, GPD's Highway Patrol Division is investigating. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
The 7-year-old's condition has not yet been released.
Well, Bree, if a picture says 1,000 words, photos on social media show a sleeping toddler with what appears to be a stash of marijuana was enough cause for authorities to get involved.
Now, a grandmother and a minor are in police custody facing drug charges. Crystal Paco reports.
They weren't shy about their illicit drug use. In fact, they apparently used social media to show off their stash of marijuana. Most disturbing, some of their photos depicted a sleeping toddler boy. Tucked between his nose and upper lip is what appears to be a marijuana joint. On his chest, another Ziploc baggie with more suspected pot. Next to the sleeping toddler in another photo is a male minor who appears to be posing for the camera as if he was smoking the marijuana cigarette. The social media post obviously disturbed viewers. Police reporting that the Mandanya Drug Task Force received anonymous calls about the photos. These callers also identified the older male in the photos as a minor. This prompted a raid of an Agate home early Wednesday morning. Taken into custody is the toddler's grandmother, 37-year-old Naomi Kuale Leon Guerrero. Also arrested, the male minor seen posing in the photos. He has only been identified as the boyfriend of one of Leon Guerrero's daughters and is charged with child abuse and drug possession.
40-year-old Jay Santos is charged with illegal drug possession with the intent to distribute, distribution of drugs near a school zone or drug-free zone, and child abuse. The SWAT unit and GPD's K-9 unit executed the search warrant on Santa Cruz Drive in the village Wednesday morning when they made the find.
7 people ages 12 and 13 are under arrest. Guam police say the arrest comes
for governor without a running mate. And now former senatorial candidate Sedfrey Lensangan is suing the Guam Election Commission. Filed in federal court Thursday, Lensangan claims he's being denied his constitutional, organic, and United States rights and cites other jurisdictions and other positions that allow candidates to run solo until the general election. Now, evidently, when he took his concerns to GEC commissioners and GEC's legal counsel earlier this year, they said they were only following the law and that he should take his issues to Congress.
and SIM cards were found at the hospital. The package was intended to be delivered to the DepCorp compound in Mangilao.
Elsewhere, another victim of clergy sex abuse has filed his lawsuit in district court. Only identified by the initials BG, the 58-year-old former Guam resident alleges he was sexually molested and raped by Father Louis Brouillard, then a scoutmaster for the Boy Scouts. BG alleges the priest paid the boys $1 every time they went on naked swimming trips, and that on one occasion the priest had raped him. He is suing for $10 million.
Lawmakers are still deciding how to respond to Wednesday's Supreme Court ruling that clarifies the number of votes needed to pass bills.
Speaker B.J. Cruz has expressed disappointment with the decision, which he says departs from many years of legislative tradition. Our next story is with Nestor Lecanto.
The High Court was responding to a petition by Governor Calvo on his bill to finance tax refunds. It was approved by a slim 7-6 margin, but lawmakers refused to transmit the measure, citing the need for a legislative majority of 8 votes. But the justices have ruled that legislation can be passed by an affirmative vote of the majority of members present and voting.
I think it sets a very dangerous precedent. If you take that to its extreme, if there's 8 senators in the room and 5 recuse, you could pass something with 2 members.
But ADLUP now considers the bill duly passed, which the governor wants to sign into law and get started on establishing a line of credit to pay next year's tax refunds. However, Cruz argues that the Supreme Court's decision is prospective.
Going forward, yes, but not in the past.
So will they continue to withhold the bill?
We haven't decided yet.
He also says the Democratic majority is weighing its options, including whether to file a motion to reconsider. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Now, late today, Governor Calvo did send a letter to Acting Rules Chair Senator Tom Atta in which he called for the immediate transmittal of the Tran bill so his fiscal team can, quote, begin preparations for the distribution of next year's tax refunds.
Stay tuned. We're back with more news after the break.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
CALVO'S Select Care's medical provider network offers choice and access to quality facilities locally, nationally, and internationally. Federal employees and annuitants enroll today.
Find your reason to celebrate with a brand new Samsung Galaxy Note 8 at IT&E.
2017 is rapidly coming to an end, and the big finish is on now. At Cars Plus in Mighty, get big year-end savings on a big selection of new 2017 Ram trucks, Jeep Wranglers, Dodge Challengers, and all Fiat models. Plus, buy from Cars Plus today and receive a Cars Plus value card, where you get 21 cents off per gallon at all Shell stations. Big savings and 21 cents off per gallon with a Cars Plus value card when you buy during a big finish at Cars Plus in Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Now you can choose your favorite Nissan rides and 30 flyaways on Philippine Airlines when you play Micronesia Mall's Your Best Choice giveaway. To play, present mall receipts to win a new Versa Note SR, the Crossover Rogue Sport SV, the Heritage Edition 370Z, or you can choose a tough Nissan truck. Plus, there are great instant prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker. Win more cars, trips, and prizes when you play Micronesia Mall's Your Best Choice giveaway.
When you know what you want and you want it great, look no further than Ruby Tuesday's new Steakhouse Sensations menu. Choose from a 20-ounce dry aged prime bone-in ribeye or an 8-ounce filet mignon tenderloin. Either steak seared to your preference and served with 2 specialty sides, like the Nancy mashed potatoes, grilled asparagus, or roasted Brussels sprouts. Enjoy surf and turf and add a succulent lobster tail or tender grilled salmon fillet to complete your meal. This plus a whole lot more. It's Steakhouse Sensations for a limited time and only at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Connect with KUAM News. Find us on your favorite social media platform. Follow us and stay in the know with Guam's news leader.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We have a topic that's been quite the talk for some time now: sexual assault and harassment, from the church to Hollywood to high-profile media personalities.
The latest allegations surround NBC's Matt Lauer, who's been fired from the network after allegations of sexual harassment in the workplace. So KUAM's Nick Delgado spoke with a couple of people in the local business community to find out what they do to stay proactive.
Claims of inappropriate sexual behavior in the workplace.
We are heartbroken.
The latest allegation resulting in the termination of Today's Show host Matt Lauer.
These are high-profile people, and there's going to be a lot of attention drawn to that. But I guess in reality, let's get down to what's happening on Guam. I think Guam has a lot of education out there. It's just a matter of whether or not people are paying attention to it.
But many are now paying attention after the recent headlines and talking prevention. Steve Kasperbauer is the president of Alupang Beach Club. His company has these policies in place when it comes to such inappropriate actions.
We do training. So in the orientation and personal training, we have an outside HR consultant that comes in and trains our employees on the different types of conducts that are acceptable or unacceptable in the professional workplace.
It hasn't really been an issue, but it's it's something you're always aware of, and we do it is part of our training that we have. We've done several sexual harassment trainings throughout the years, and so I mean it's just something you got to be aware of and look out for and take action if something does arise.
The same goes for workers at Kloppenberg Enterprises. Brad Kloppenberg, the company's vice president of operations, says they too are proactive.
The biggest thing is to not ignore it. I mean, anybody can say anything. It does, that doesn't always mean that it's, exactly what happened, but you can't ignore that. You've got to go through the steps and make sure you really take a look at what's may have occurred.
As for GovGuam workers, the administration says complaints such as sexual harassment can be reported to their department's HR or EEO official. Those of the executive branch can make a report of an incident to the EEO at the Department of Administration. Reporting for Guam's News Network, Wahusinik Delgado.
KUAM also has policies in place when it comes to sexual and other unlawful harassment. Anyone caught doing such is subject to disciplinary action, up to and including termination of employment.
Well, debate continued Thursday on a bill to float a $72 million bond for the Port Authority. Senators combed through the measure for a fourth day in a row. The port's borrowing the money for facility improvements, including the renovation of Hotel Wharf and the construction of a new administration building. According to GITA, debt services would be about $6 million a year and will come from port revenues. Before discussion began, Chairman Senator Frank Uggan Jr. announced that per legal counsel's advice, Wednesday's Supreme Court decision would apply to any action on the measure. The High Court ruled that passage of a bill only requires a majority vote of members that are present.
ACT test results are in and DOE students are reaching the benchmark. The Guam Department of Education released ACT Aspire test results for school year 2016-2017. Results show DOE middle school and third grade students excelling in English but facing challenges in reading and math. GDOE Administrator of Research Planning and Evaluation, Dr. Zenaida Natividad, says progress is being made from year to year.
But yet, they're very close to benchmark. In fact, it shows from the jump that they made from 4th grade to 5th grade. And this change from 411 to 418 is statistically significant. It's not just visually significant, it's statistically significant.
GDOE hopes to close the gap between scores in an effort to make sure students are ready for college and future careers. The full list of test results can be found on their website.
And also tonight, Christmas, of course, is the season of giving, and several young musicians are giving the gift of music. Joshua Cabrera, a music major at the University of Guam, is excited for this weekend's concert.
The concert is titled The Gift of Music, and we will be performing some a cappella pop, some jazz, Christmas songs as well, and some traditional songs.
The music begins at 7:30 p.m. on Friday the 1st and Saturday, December 2nd at the UOG Theater in Mingilao. Now, in addition to singing, there's going to be a special guest appearance by Olaf and Santa. Olaf, I believe, is from Frozen, right? Yes. See, I know that. I'm old, but I still get it. Tickets will be $5 at the door, and kids under 4 are free. You have sang Let It Go many, many times.
No, I haven't.
And you sound lovely, I must say.
He's just kidding. Stay tuned. Sports is coming up next.
Managing our wireless data used to drive my family crazy. But now that we've switched to GTA and get all that bonus data, we're spreading the love. You sure you don't mind the wait, honey?
Take your time. I'm good.
But we're missing the game.
Nope. I've got bonus data from GTA. Come watch.
Love it.
Get 10 extra gigs of wireless data on every line every month when you bundle. Visit gta.net for more details.
There's a reason why you keep going. When it's your own hard work that brought you to this point. You do everything to protect what you've earned. Because every move that brings you closer to your goals leaves you no excuse but to keep moving forward. This is what makes you an alpha.
Warm up with the new Peking pork. Delicious crisp pork chop bites with hand-cut bell peppers and onions, wok-tossed in a sweet and sour glaze. New at Panda Express, where good fortune smiles.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
Hoffa day, Marianas. Guahusi Chris, KUAM Sports, proudly brought to you by Triple J. And you know how we do. Last 2 Thursdays of every month, we like to profile an outstanding scholar athlete and a cute little segment we call Game Changers. Noah Timinglow is bowling over the competition. The Notre Dame Royal sophomore is Guam's national bowling champion and a 2-time youth grand finals champion as well. Funny thing is, Noah is so serious about bowling, he uses 6 different balls every game. It's a far cry from how he first got into the sport, which had his visits to the bowling alley coming few and far between.
It was mostly like a family thing. We'll probably go there, we'll probably be at the alley like once or twice a year. And when I got my own ball and my shoes, I started coming more often, like 1 or twice a week.
Fast forward 7 years later, Noah has bowled up quite a long list of accomplishments. His average is 210, and he even bowled a perfect game at the Guam National Youth Qualifiers. While he's used to playing with 1 ball, he does do a little bit of juggling, balancing sports and his studies.
It was to the point where during leagues, I'll do homework while I was bowling. And then during practice, I was still doing my homework.
Timinglow recently traveled to the Philippines for the first time to bowl for the 671, and it was something he was able to cross off his to-do list.
I feel honored. It was one of the accomplishments I wanted. It was a goal of mine to compete for this island and to represent this island.
While his grandfather inspired him to bowl for fun, Noah said competing off-island was a little more serious, especially when he saw his competition's game faces.
No one wanted to talk. Nobody had fun.
Ciaron Chambers was named the MVP. Turkey Trot Division, 10 under co-ed Warriors, 34-28 over the Tamuning Typhoons. The Warriors' Kai Duenas named MVP. Turkey Dash Division, that's 12 under co-ed. Yellow Jackets, 40-21 over the Island Chiefs. Yellow Jackets' Julian Peralta named the MVP. Turkey Run Division, 14 under competitive. YBC Elite out of Manila, 43-21 over the Island Chiefs. Raven Bahar of the YBC team named MVP. Turkey Fly Division, 16 under competitive. Island Chiefs, 50-25 over Rollers Basketball out of the CNMI Brett. Chiefs Darren Timinglow named MVP. And the Turkey Shoot Division, 18 under competitive. Island Chiefs, 60-57 over Tamuning Typhoons. Chiefs Mark Evangelista named the MVP.